fair readers. Welcome to the Bookwyrm's Lair. I'm your hostess, Jane Grey, and I'd like to welcome you all to the first episode of Vampire Month. Yeah, I decided to change things up a little. You know, vampires are Halloween-y, and Halloween is this month, so I figured, why not? Besides, it gives me an excuse to wear corsets. So, let's see what we got here. Oh, no. No. It's... an adaptation of a classic novel. Worse, it's a childhood favorite. I'm gonna regret this. This is Little Vampire Women by Lynn Messina from the novel by Louisa May Alcott. So, for those who have never read Little Women, allow me to educate you. Little Women is the rather domestic tale of four sisters by the last name of March. Meg, the eldest, is a ladylike sort who always tries to live and act above her station. Jo is a wild and playful tomboy with literary aspirations and a terrible temper. Beth is the sweet and shy domestic sister who proves to be too good for this sinful earth. And Amy is the artistic and snooty one, who puts on airs so hard she could survive the cold vacuum of space. The book relates their trials and coming of age in the time during and after what history books call the Civil War, and what we in the South have many names for, few of which are printable. I loved that book as a kid. I identified with Jo, who had unruly hair, loved to read and write stories, and was generally the family oddball. So, I wanted to like this. Vampires and my favorite book from childhood? Two great tastes that taste great together, right? Let me start with the cover art. What the flaming frell is this? Three girls in vaguely Victorian attire, of the wrong decade, and blood. Blood everywhere, in tasteless amounts. Like the Mythbusters decided to test a blood pressure myth, busted it, and then had one bucket of Karo syrup and red food coloring left over, so they said, let's blow it all sky high. I'm not impressed. It's called subtlety, people. Use it. Oh, and the book? It starts out fairly well. A little bland with some search and replace, and making the family tomboy a wannabe hunter of vampire hunters, but then it starts to fall surreally flat. Characterization of the other sisters is abandoned for a story of hunters, vampire dilettantes, and Jo fighting to save her family. A noble story, surely, but it's been done, and so much of the classic and accessible tale is lost to the apparently more exciting prospect of a story full of Victorian ethical vampires. Some of the characterization is pretty cool. Jo's best friend is a mortal who wants so badly to be a vampire, and wants Jo to make him one. Her future husband is an ancient German vampire who knows long-lost arts, like turning into a bat, and the scenes where he teaches Jo are beautifully written, but so different from Alcott's original style that all my immersion is dashed to pieces. It breaks my heart to say all this. It should have been grand fun to read a story where my favorite characters were vampires, but there's so little heart to it. Look, it says, a horror adaptation of a classic novel. How chic! What fun! Surely we'll bring people back to the good old stories. But it's so bland, so trite, I cry. Where's Meg's children and Beth's crush on Jo's guy friend? Where's the lovely tale I knew from my youth? Shut up and read me, it snaps. You avoided most of the Twilight Saga. You aren't getting out of this. I don't want to rate this. Rating it will make it real, and then my inner child will cry until I feed it ice cream and cookies and give it so many hugs it squeaks. But I have to, don't I? Okay, I give it an orange star. It would have been a red star, but I feel like Messina did try her best to make it work. Alright, that's all for today. Join me next week when I dip into something a little bit more modern and mainstream. Until then, I'm Jane Grey, wishing you a good book to curl up with. Leave a nightlight on, fair readers.